Oh my goodness, my hair is crazy. Good morning. Oh, wait. We got like a whole chat room going. Oh my goodness.
Wow. 8 people waiting. Miss Creating Essence is here. Compass Rose. Our lovely wee tree.
I love Wee Tree.
Lindsay. I do too. Mommy Geek is here. What's up, girl?
Lindsay says, good morning, y'all. I don't know how much of this I'll catch this morning, but I'm glad I didn't miss it. Oh. Any progress on the damages? I think Compass is asking Wee Tree, right, Compass?
Yes. Yeah, I would assume the same.
Mama Geek says, I am so proud. I got my kitchen clean and coffee ready and made it to the group in time. It is kind of like, don't you feel like it's like group session?
I do. And here's what I love. I love that they're excited about it. I love that they're like, yes, I got it. I'm like, oh, that makes me so happy. And good morning, Mystic Sounds Blessed.
Yes. Let's see. Mama Geek says, hey, girls, it's been a while since I've been able to make it. Yay, and Erica made it in the house. Yay. Cynthia says it's 7:35 here. No progress yet. Oh, bummer.
Yeah, Cynthia, that's what time it is here. So we're both in the same.
It's 8:35.
I gotta make myself a note to post. To remember to post in the Mama Gets Fit Facebook group for victories. Victory post.
Yeah, because we in a groove again. We feeling groovy.
Yes. Let me tell you, I am just like, I took a break because I had just, this really totally goes along with what we're talking about. I had burned out. Well, that was last week. This is this week. But anyway, I had burned out, like on everything, on work, on home, on self, I was overwhelmed. And, but I took the break. I needed that break because like now I'm feeling like myself again. And I've gotten, my whole recommitment to weight loss. I'm like, I'm got to get my sass back. I want to be myself and feel good. So yeah, so I'm getting back in the groove, guys.
All right. House of Little says good morning. My Grace says good morning. Cynthia Harrison says she's in North Dakota in Winnipeg. I bet you're cold. Because I already heard. Didn't Esther? No. Somebody said they just had snow up there in Dakota. It wasn't Dirt Patch. It wasn't Road to the Farm. I think it was Esther Emery said she had snow.
Well, somebody said Idaho.
Yeah, all of them in Idaho were talking about snow. Mama Geek says this group is such a blessing to me. Not only is it time to talk to other adults during my day, a group of wonderful women to get advice from and fellowship with, but also to stay on track. Tatiana made it.
Yay, Tatiana. Misty's here. Yay, Tara.
Creating Essence says, oh, ladies, I looked at a pic of myself a year ago and I hadn't realized how far I've come. We could talk about that. That happened last night too. Yeah, Misty and Mama Butterfly. I haven't seen have we had Mama Butterfly before?
Yes.
Well, if it's your first, okay, we have. Okay. Tara Pinnell, good morning. Tina says, good morning. You all very tired. My youngest high school prom was last night and tomorrow's graduation. Yay. I love getting to visit here. You guys are so full of love. Okay, so going on how far I've come, my oldest has taken over one of our old camcorders, so I do a lot of videoing, so she wants to do a lot of videoing, so she's doing a lot of camcording. And my husband was checking out the videos and found videos from when she was like 3-4 months old and me.
Aww.
And oh my goodness, he was like, what did he call me? He was like, I cannot believe how far you've come. You looked like a pumpkin. Because I was just round, He's like, you look like a pumpkin. And then they're like, you look younger now than you did 12 years ago. I'm like, I love you. Yeah. And then, and I talked about earlier this week how I've gone up and down, up and down, up and down. And we had one part in there. We had like a little video part of right after I had my son, I'd lost a lot of weight. Like I was back down. I was back down to like Christmas, what I was at Christmas. And he was like, okay, you don't look as young as you did then. You looked really young then.
Yeah.
Go help your brother.
Mommy Geek says, I'm happy to report I have lost 5 pounds.
Yay! Catherine, will you clean that bottle out and then put milk in them for the next feeding and put them in that So then they're not sitting on the counter. Okay, sorry. I'm parenting. It's a parenting here.
Yeah. Misty said she's going to go buy some homeschool curriculum today and hoping to find it all at the discount homeschool store. That is like my favorite part of homeschool is getting all the new books and all the school supplies, smelling the new books.
I'm not going to lie. Last night I was watching homeschool curriculum review and going through looking at homeschool curriculum. My daughter's like looking at me like,
well, let me tell you what I'm getting. As soon as we get off here, while I have breakfast, I saw that Jackie G posted her homeschool room tour, and just the thumbnail, it's like all so pretty colors. I'm like, I can't wait to see that. It looks awesome.
I don't know. I'm not gonna lie. I've been going through these because you guys, I'm teaching these next year. So, woo-hoo. I mean, I am, I feel like I am. And then I have algebra 2 still to get, and then I'm doing the ACE business math. I really like the ACE business math. But I don't know what I'm going to do. Because I already wrote down dates in here, so I've already written some stuff in here, which I'm kind of sad I did. I bought this.
Oh, I love that. That's pretty.
It is so, no, it's so gorgeous.
Oh,
it is like the colors.
Yes.
And it's still the same thing. Let's see. It's still the same layout.
Misty said, I found a U.S. map at the Dollar Tree. Does it look like this one?
I love that U.S. map. Oh.
I do too. I love the colors. I would even if I didn't homeschool, I love the colors with my kitchen, and it just looks so cool. And we're always referring to it, always.
Bye, House of Littles. Have a good day.
Bye, Jennifer. Later, lady.
Something in my kitchen smells bad, so the laptop is on the counter watching y'all while I'm detailing my kitchen. Right. Well, so I started using that planner. My mom bought this planner, the teacher planner. Have you seen these by recollection?
Oh, no. Girl, you know what? You have awakened the planner lover in me. I didn't even know. I always get the cheap $2 or $3 planners, but you keep showing me all this cute stuff.
This was $12. This was $12 on sale. It's originally like $30. It was $12.
That is really super cute.
I can't, I have to be careful because I can't put, I keep giving my passwords. Look how colorful this one is.
Oh, I love that.
And then I'll have to do a review on it, but let's see. See, it has all the months up here. And then then it has the actual plan pages in the back. So I've gone through and I've gone through with the 2 courses, and I'm just kind of writing out, for Algebra 1, it has listed out the homework. So I'm writing out when a quiz is, what section we're doing, what's the homework for that section, kind of that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And then I'll go and write my notes for it. But it's beautiful. I got so aggravated with myself because I'm like any good homeschool mom, I wrote in pen. I was like, no, wait, that's not what I can be doing. I got to change that. I'm like, where's my whiteout when I need it? Exactly. So then I moved to pencil, even though the pen would be so much prettier. I moved to pencil, kind of deal. But and this has
Harrison. Stickers. Go ahead. Sorry. Oh, I keep talking every time you keep showing pretty things. I'm like, oh my gosh, I love that. And then it cuts over to me.
Look at this. Those are stickers. I know.
You're killing me, Smalls. You're killing me.
And then you got the little thing back here. I was going to do a full review on this, but I don't want to because I already started writing it and I got some passwords and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So,
So Cynthia wanted to know what my hair color is. Let's see. I use the Ion hair color from Sally's, and it's number 3. I actually lightened it. I usually use number 2.0, which is the darkest brown, and then I went up a shade, so now it's 3.
I'm gonna have to say, I think the lighting is really good here, but you can kind of see no, you can't even see it. It's about right here. But what you can't see is the intense gray. Okay, go put it in the fridge for the baby goats. That's the baby goats. But like right here, like my gray just does not, it doesn't hold. You can kind of see like I got a streak there. Oh, Misty's making her own planner. I've made my own planner. I'm kind of having an issue with when I make my own stuff, I'm not 100% committed. Do you run into that? Like, I love Homeschool and Hill's planner. She does a beautiful job. I try to emulate it. But if it's not already laid out, then I'm like, I keep tweaking. I'm never satisfied. Where if I just buy one, I'm like, I'm stuck. I will submit, if that makes sense. It's the same thing with building a house. Building a house, I cannot finish tweaking. Like, everything has to be changed. But if I go and buy a house, I'll just submit to that's the way it is. Done.
Yeah.
Satisfied.
Well, and the thing with planners that are already made too is like if there's something in there that you need, you can always just stick a Post-it note in there and use it.
Right. So mad at myself. I bought the Erin Conner for $50 and I saw the teacher planner for Michael's. Oh, yeah.
Oh my goodness. Coffee and Crafted Mama. I like that channel name. Okay.
Oh, that is good. I used to be Midnight Crafters. What?
Texas was. I was reading Misty's message. Was its own? Oh my goodness! I decided talking about the map. I decided I needed one after my daughter said that Texas was its own country and that Washington State was where the White House was. Yeah, I think maps are handy. Jane Morrell Stewart, for a while, I don't know if she still does, but I'm talking about the Encouraging Homeschool Moms. They keep a globe on their kitchen table, and I'm like, that's brilliant, because like, how many times your kids go, well, where is that? Or when you're talking about something, you try to show them where you are and where the event took place.
I just pulled the globe out. The globe was sitting in a box in here, and so I'm like purging, because who knows how long I'm going to be in this place. It just.
Yeah, I will say, as far as planners go, if you don't want to make your own, but you don't want to spend, a lot of money, go to confessionsofahomschooler.com, and she has a really pretty planner, and it's $5, and you print it off, punch holes in it, stick it in a 3-ring binder. That's what I've used the last couple of years, and I love it.
Okay, so this is what I'm going to say. Just be careful, because if you print it in color, you might as well go buy a planner.
That's true. That is true. What I would do is I would print the cover pages in color, and then I would print the planner pages in grayscale. Mm-hmm. But yeah, because there's a lot of pages. But I will say, with that $5, not only do you get the planner, but you also get form letters, like what you need to, if you have to, in your state.
Oh, that's
send
nice.
Letter. Yeah, she's got like letters of intent to homeschool, and good grief, attendance, the grade record keeping, all of that stuff. So you get a lot for $5.
So Focus on What Works includes your homeschool planner, by the way. I know. I felt like we had a win yesterday. I just kind of, going back to what works, I really just had a moment of, we need to get out of the house more. So it's just like, I take the kids, and like, we have the fun schooling books. They're right back there. And I've showed them before, the ones that you get off of Amazon. And we took those, and I said, grab those books. We're heading to the library. We have not been to the library for so long. I walk in the library. I see some of my favorite librarians, and they're just like, where have you been, and where did these other kids come from? Because I haven't been there for 2 kids. You like that? I can count back 2 kids ago.
Oh, wow.
And they're like, what happened to you? And, we're talking. And so when we caught up, and I finally was just like, listen, and I'm kind of here at this point, and it's a little bit strange. I didn't realize it took so long and that it's been this way. I'm actually coming back from postpartum from 4 years ago.
Wow.
Not realizing how long and how far my postpartum anxiety took me and removed me from like the world. I'm coming back. And so I was there, and they're like, where have you been? It's like, you had the little guy and you never came back. And I was like, I had that little guy, never left my house for almost a year. And, literally I was forced out of it. I wasn't even ready to come out, but I was forced out because my grandmother got diagnosed with cancer. And then, going through everything with her, and then I got pregnant again, and that riptide with her. And literally we buried my grandmother, had my baby girl's birthday, or had a baby. 2 months later, realized we were starting my mom's cancer treatments, and I'm like, that has been my life for the last 4 years. Whoa, it really came home to me yesterday being there. And I told him, I said, listen, I had some really serious postpartum, and I just never left, and so that was, I'm like totally into you. I'm missing like the conversation. I'm realizing like, but yeah, so that kind of hit me. But we grabbed those books. I'm like, let's go check out some books. And so we came home with, enough to buy a library wing when they show up late. My late fees will.
Oh, guess how much I owe my library?
How much?
Because I got a letter in the mail yesterday.
$35.
$60. Oh. And part of it is because a book that I thought we had returned has been in my son's room. It's in my son's room. And then pretty much they said that I can't return the book. Like, it's too late. And I'm like, but the book is too late.
You have to buy the book.
I have to buy the book. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Crazy.
I had one. I paid for 2 books, couldn't find them, only to realize my son went to a meeting with my husband and had the 2 books in his bag and it never came out. Bought the books. I was just like, they're done. I can't find them. I'm buying the books. Finally found the books like 3 months later. And I was like, hey, I found the books. I'm just donating them back at this point. I'm donating them.
Yeah.
And they sent me back a credit. Now, I didn't get my full return back on the books, but they're like, I think they gave me half the book back, like the book value I paid. They're like, we're going to keep half, 50%, because that's what you go. I got there yesterday and they're like, hey, it's June. They do a food fundraiser thing. So if you bring cans of food in, it will wipe out your account. Mm-hmm. And I said, and they're like, hey, you owe us $7.11. I'm like, yeah, I'll just pay it, because I'm not dealing with that. I'm just take my credit card and pay it. Take all my money. Then I gave the friends of the library all my money, because I went in there and there's some books on the Robinson curriculum list. And I was like, wait a minute, Life of George Washington by Irwin. I was like, go and grab my tablet. I'm like, isn't that on the list? So I bought all the Irwin books. And then I actually just picked up all their classic literature books, because they're like 50 cents a dollar. I was like, I got that. Yeah. All right. We have to, because exciting stuff. Okay. So Tangi last week told you, like, hey, I'm going back on Weight Watchers. And then I was like, no, I'm doing the keto. And then if you caught on me on Monday, I just ranted. I'm like, I'm so confused. There's no grace. There's no forgiveness in keto. There's some people, and Tangi and I talked about this the other day, because Tangi and I are back to, like, we found time to talk. It's amazing. About how there's some people who need something that they're not allowed to have grace in. They can't have any forgiveness. They have to be 100% or not. And I feel like that's where keto's like working for those people. So I had my vent Monday. I was just like, listen, I feel like I've confused myself. I don't know how to cook anymore. I don't know what to eat. I don't know what to pick. My body isn't like functioning right. And it's like, there's no grace in my diet. And it's just, and lately it's like, there's just no success. 18 pounds ago, is where I was. And it's been really frustrating. So I talked to y'all about it. I'm like, I think I'm going to do like old school Weight Watchers, not even the new Weight Watchers, but the old Weight Watchers. And I went and seen, I know there's so much conversation going there. And then I went to see my chiropractor, and I was telling him, I said, listen, and I'm not going to lie, my chiropractor is maybe the equivalent of Dr. Eric Berg in real life, except he's not like a keto junkie. He's like a whole person focused, and he's not just focused on you as an adult. Come on, get done with the water. She's just sitting there running in the water. And it's neurological, babies, pregnant women, the whole 9 yards. So I talked to him and I said, I am so frustrated. And I'm telling him, and we're talking about, like I've been doing the keto. And I said, going back to the blood type diet, because I'm a little bit like, I found the blood type diet many years after I learned about Weight Watchers. and I was successful on Weight Watchers up and down all the time. Or, you know, like I've gained the weight being pregnant, lose the weight doing Weight Watchers. And when I looked at my blood type, I realized I was eating correctly by doing the old school Weight Watchers. I was eating a high fiber, low fat, low cal diet. And as a type A blood type, I really respond really well to that. And so we're talking, he said, you know, and he was telling me some research he was doing because he's a big researcher. He's writing journal articles all the time. And he was like, let me tell you something. There is no one diet for everybody, and not every diet is for everybody. And that hit home. It's something I feel like I already knew, but to hear it, and he's just like, there's no one diet. It's not keto. And that's the big thing. Like, Tangi and I have come to you every time, and it's like, there's no one diet. We're not going to tell you you have to do Weight Watchers. We're not going to tell you have to do a high fat, no carb diet. We're not going to tell you have to do a protein, no fat. We're not telling you anything. We're telling you find what works. But realize not everything, or not, there's not one thing that's going to work for everybody. And not everything is going to work for everybody. There's going to be some of you, it doesn't matter what you do, you're going to lose it. It doesn't matter if you're popping on this diet, popping on that diet, popping on that diet. You're going to lose it no matter what you do, as long as you do what they want you to do. You did just witness that, right?
I did, totally.
So there's not that one, and some things are going to work for you. What really got kind of convicted on me was, I know I'm not a high fat. My body does not process high fat. Yes, I'll lose my bloat. I will lose bloat, but beyond that, my body will not respond. And so when I'm trying to process and he kind of got onto me about it. He goes, you've been trying to process this high fat diet for as long as I've been going to him for 5 years. He's like, in 5 years, I've watched what your body responds to what you eat. He's like, your body has never responded to high fat. Never. Every time you're doing high fat, I can feel that you're doing high fat. He's like, you don't respond. You might as well just eat junk food. And I told him, I said, but now I feel like as I'm going to go off high fat, my digestive system doesn't even know what to do. It's like so out of whack. He's like, yeah, you're throwing, by cutting this and cutting that and bouncing all over the place. He's like, you've really done a number to yourself. So I'm kind of like, okay, and let me sit and think about what works. What's working for you guys? When you go back to everything you've ever done, what is it for you that works? All right, that's my preaching.
You got some amens going on in the comments. I've tried Atkins before. I didn't do well with Atkins, only because I couldn't stick with it. I think anytime I feel like I'm being, anytime I feel like I have so many boundaries, it makes me just go crazy. Like, I'll do fine for about 15 minutes, and then I'm just like, I can't have the bread, but I'm going to have the bread, you know. But I actually, Weight Watchers for me has been fantastic, and that's one thing. You know, the Bible teaches everything in moderation. Moderation, honey in moderation, meat in moderation, vegetables in moderation, wine in moderation, everything in moderation. And so that's what we always tell our kids. Oh, Mommy Geek says it's hard to hear me. Is anybody else having a hard time hearing me? It
I'm not having a hard time hearing you, but I'm muted myself because I think they're probably getting dizzy with going back, cutting back and forth.
Cut back and forth, gotcha.
So I'm going to mute myself as my kids make noise.
Okay. So, so that's one of the reasons why, or that's what the main reason why I love Weight Watchers so much, is because nothing is off limits. It truly teaches moderation. It teaches you how to portion control. And I think that's why I get so excited about it. It's because, you know, if we order pizza, I can have pizza. If we go out for Mexican food, I can have the Mexican food. Nothing is off limits. Oh, it got better. Maybe it's because I held the thingy up to me. Your sound is very low. Huh. I don't know why.
I'm talking and like nothing's happening. Well, and and everybody's coming in there. I'm loving it. I'm laughing at this one. Where is it? Crystal says, pregnancy works great for me. I lose weight every time. At 17 weeks, I've lost 15 pounds.
Oh, wow.
I had one girlfriend. She had always been, a long time ago, she'd always been really overweight. And she got pregnant. And what was funny was nobody knew because she was shrinking as her pregnancy went on. And it wasn't that she was sick or anything, but it's almost like the pregnancy kicked. Will you help them? It's like her pregnancy kicked on her metabolism. And so she never bought new clothes. She wore her same clothes, but her shape would be from here to this. She went from wide this way to wide that way. Oh my goodness, my children. So Compass says, doesn't matter what I've done. Are you talking about she's not losing weight then? There is something that works. Check your blood type. As a blood type diet option would be the first. He was actually talking about the fact that like it has to do with your metabolism, or not your metabolism. You're gonna get up. Please help her out because letting her sit and take a fit during the show is not gonna help. In the other room. In another room. Here's an iPad. Take the iPad. Go play Mickey Mouse with her. And in a bedroom.
Hey, Katie.
They can't.
You have to put everything he's in.
This is the
Compass Rose said, if pregnancy helped me lose weight, I would go back to having more babies.
No, not for me.
Let's see. Tara said, Tangi, is there a certain site or where do you find info on Weight Watchers? Like what info are you talking about? Are you talking about?
I think she's talking about free info.
Points?
I think she's talking about free info. There's so much. If you just do Weight Watchers for free, there's so many bootleg ones. So I've decided, like, I made the decision Monday I was going to go back on Weight Watchers. I went and dug out. Come on, who's remembering? I dug out this.
Yay! Whoop, whoop. I have mine too.
And I was really sad when I looked at this, because that is not what I look like anymore.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm so glad I took a picture. I need to take a new picture and do a side by side, put the same clothes on, take a picture. Y'all be like, yeah. So I went on there, and it's really kind of, some of the problems I'm having is, even though I ate this way for 10, 15 years, I can't remember what it is that I ate. It's like re-kicking back and having to get over being terrified of grain.
Mm-hmm.
Because I literally have induced between Trim Healthy Mama and keto, like, grain is bad kind of deal.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm working on it. I thought about it and I've contemplated, and I've decided I'm not doing the smart points. I am doing classic points where it's low cal, low fat, high fiber. I'm making room for fat. I use my points and I allot my points up. I had a teaspoon of butter, but for the most part, I'm sticking to lower fat. My body is still adjusting, but I'm going back to eating a pound of vegetables in a sitting. I know that sounds like crazy, but even though you can eat the vegetables, you get so starch conscious on keto that you almost are not eating the vegetables. And so eating the vegetables, but I can feel my body's like, I'm not sure how to handle this. And I'm kind of remembering, I'm like, I used to nickname myself that as a composting. I'm a composter, like I'm a digestion machine, a digestion composter or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm kind of focusing on that, and it lets me have like little stuff. Sorry, I'm going to sneeze.
God bless you.
Thank you. Little stuff that I would have before. And I mean, I hate to be like, I need junk food, but I kind of need some convenient junk food, especially the way I'm going now. So I bought my Fiber One bars, you know, my little Fiber One brownies that are 1 point. I love those things. I've always loved those things. Those things like really give it to me. It's no crazy almond stuff in a mug in my microwave. It's just I can grab it and I can eat it and I'm done. Mm-hmm. And having those little things back in my life, it's like, ooh, hey friend. You know, I had a banana, a teaspoon of peanut butter, or a tablespoon of peanut butter and a slice of bread. And a banana, yesterday. That was my breakfast. And I was like, oh, wait a minute. I love this. Oh, my body loves this. You know, this is like, I don't know, help me out here. You know what I mean? It's just kind of like, I can eat stuff again. It's not so, I hate to say it's not so restrictive. I have to allot myself and not, you know, be a point hoarder. Mm-hmm. But I'm not going to be a point hoarder. I'm not going to be a point hoarder. I'm not going to be a point hoarder. I think I'm going to write that every week. So I got back in and I'm writing my stuff down again.
Eat your points. Eat your points. If you are on Weight Watchers, eat your points. That's what I do is I make sure I get every point in it. I'm allotted 30 points. I eat it all.
And so this is less points, but it's a different way of calculating it. Like yesterday, I took for dinner, because I really like the egg roll in the bowl concept. So I took the already cooked chicken that's frozen because my kids had pizza. I didn't want to eat pizza. I took that. I did 6 ounces of, 2 servings. So it ended up being 4 points. Now, and I'm doing classic points, not points, smart points. Right. 4 points. And then I added a tablespoon of sesame oil, a teaspoon, just to have that flavor. Mm-hmm. And then I added a bag of Oriental Express vegetables. That was 1 pound. I needed some broth, and I'd cooked some collard greens the day before. So I took the broth out of the collard greens because I didn't have any chicken. And I'm like, let me add some of those collard greens in there because I didn't have any fat in there. And then as I'm cooking, I'm like, I need something that feels like noodles. Oh, I have shredded cabbage. So, I have shredded cabbage in there. So this whole pan, I almost sent you a picture. It was huge. It was like it was 10 ounces of cabbage. It was a pound of vegetables. It was some collard greens. The whole thing is 5 points. The whole thing. I only ate half of it. My dinner was 3 points and I couldn't eat anymore. Mm-hmm. And I was like, this is what I like to do. This is what I like to do. This is good.
Yeah. Monday, I posted a picture on Instagram, but we've got so much lettuce coming in our garden. So I went out and I picked 2 different kinds of lettuce, brought it in, washed it, and I made a bed of it on a plate. And then I took some of our green onions, sprinkled that on top, and then I cooked an egg just enough where it was like runny in the middle. And I sliced some big hunks of tomato, and I put that egg on top of the greens and pierced it and let the yolk run out. That whole plate was like 3 points. It was awesome. It's good food.
Right. So Misty says she would not be able to eat a quarter of that. I'm sorry, y'all. I messed something up, so that's why it's not cutting in and out, but that might be nice. That's why y'all were stuck looking at me and listening to her. But now you can look at Tangi and listen to me. So Mama Geek says that what I'm doing with our family is making more vegetables for the family. Right. And that's what I used to live off of was vegetables. Lindsay says when I do strict keto, I'm eating like Dr. Berg suggests with 7 to 10 cups of greens per day. I was, and then I stopped. I know, I'm totally rubbing my nose. This is why you're stuck looking at Tangi, because my nose is bothering me. Come over here, pick it.
Well, I didn't realize that people were really looking at me, and I made a really funny face.
I know, it was good.
I look really goofy.
It's better than me picking my nose.
Well, you're not picking, you're scratching. There's a difference.
Yeah, because I'm trying to be polite, not be like, hey, how you doing? Hey, y'all, I'm just digging for fish.
Oh, I wish I could see what she was doing.
I'm losing weight, but not eat sometime. I think I'm not eating enough. So when do you know you losing the weight the right way? You have, and it goes back to the different ways that you do the different diet plan you're doing. Because if you're doing keto, you can kind of get away with not eating a lot because you're eating your calories and fats, and it's not a huge quantity. So if you don't feel like you're eating enough, then maybe you need to be adding a little fat to your diet.
Yeah, I remember Tina, I think it was last week, and she was talking about how she's been, I think, just not feeling well over the last, I don't remember the time span. So she's losing weight, but it's because she's not feeling well. So I think you're losing weight the right way when you're eating right.
And when you feel amazing.
You're moving. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, if you're not feeling amazing, change your diet. Oh my goodness, look at my hair today. I'm like, I've got this like whole like peak. I'm sorry, I'm just watching it in the thing. I'm like, anyways, you're not feeling right. Let me come back on there. If you're dieting and you don't feel good, you're eating the wrong food. You're getting the fuel the wrong way because your body is not responding. Listen to your body. If your body's not happy, then do something else. And yeah, I could starve myself and not eat and lose weight. But will I feel better? No. I keep doing the experiments by eating a high fat, no carb. But in the end, do I feel good? No. I mean, right.
I think we need to preface though, or caveat or disclose that whenever you start changing the way you eat, you won't feel good. Because your body is going to go through this breakup phase with the way that you used to eat, and it doesn't like change. You will eventually feel better, but in the beginning is difficult. You're not going to.
But don't you feel like it should only last about a week?
I
mean, a week or no longer than 2.
Yeah, actually, it's funny that you say that because we were actually talking in Sunday school about the number 7 and how 7 is complete. 7 is also represents perfection in the Bible. And the teacher actually pointed out that it is medically proven that the body takes 7 days to completely regenerate itself. So it 7 days.
Wait, it takes 7 years for an organ to completely regenerate yourself. In 7 years, if you start something right now, in 7 years, your body will be completely different. Completely. Right. You'll have a brand new body in 7 years.
Yeah, I was telling my husband, I said, I'm pretty sure that I heard if you smoke and you quit smoking, it takes your lungs 7 years to completely heal from the damage that you've done. So, but yeah, I would say that a week is because usually the first week is the hardest week for most people as far as like withdrawals and things like that.
Misty's doctor said, I had a doctor tell me that people in Africa starve themselves, so should I. Don't eat for 3 months. I fired him that day. Amen.
Good for you. That's crazy.
Wow. So here's the thing. In 7 days, and that's the big part too, is like, okay, so one of the things I've noticed is I'm eating a lot of vegetables again. My body hasn't had this much vegetables probably since December, I hate to say. Probably since December. This quantity. My body does not have the enzymes to digest it. I've not fed those enzymes to have a great population to digest the food I need. So I'm adding a little enzymes into my diet. Just, I'm taking a pill. I'm taking an enzyme pill.
Before you move on, for clarification, are you saying that like if you eat a lot of greens, it messes your stomach up?
No.
Okay.
What I'm saying is your body, the food we eat takes a whole slew. It takes every kind of enzyme, right? So the same, what digests bread, that enzyme that digests bread in your body that gets the stuff out is not the same enzyme that digests meat. That's not the same enzyme that digests high chlorophyll, greens. It's not the same enzyme that processes junk food. It's not the same. It's all these different enzymes. Okay? So think about the deer in the forest, the bunnies. Let's go to the bunnies in the forest. If there is not enough bunnies in the forest, if there's not enough food in the forest to support bunnies, do we have a lot of bunnies? The population goes up or down if we're not feeding the bunnies. It goes down. Mm-hmm. And then as food becomes plentiful, the population goes up, right? So what happens when you have all of this bunny food to feed to the bunnies and there's a small population? Is the bunny food going to be eaten? No. It's going to take, it's going to take a little bit for the bunnies to procreate and have more bunnies to eat the food. But the population is going to be supported upon the food. Yes? So if I've spent 6 months not eating a lot of greens and all of a sudden I'm blowing my system through with greens, do I have enough enzymes to break down that food?
No.
So does it mean that I no longer have those enzymes? No, not necessarily.
Right.
I have them. I just don't have enough of them. Where I have an overgrowth of this other enzyme that's eating what I've been eating. So right now, my body is recalibrating out to build the right enzyme, to get the right enzyme colonies. So if you are kind of in that situation like I am adding an enzyme pill that has like all the enzymes in it, so it releases, because like your intestines tract, like it's kind of like we get to floor 1, this enzyme's here to eat this, and we go to stage 2, there's other enzymes here to break that down, so there's all these different, like the path through your intestines. This is why it's not good to like lose part of your intestines, because you'll actually not be able to digest certain things, because your intestines have certain properties at different places, so that those enzymes are that's their home. That's their address. That's where they live well at. And so you want to rebuild that. So I'm taking an enzyme that releases the enzymes at the certain places in my intestines. So it digests everything, not just like, this is my dairy enzyme. I don't need just a dairy enzyme. I probably might need a little dairy enzyme. I might need a little of this. It does everything.
Right.
And it digests everything. Because there's nothing worse, because y'all are going to know this, we're going to put this out there, is you start eating a pile of vegetables, and what just happens?
Right.
Woo! And everybody's just like, what the heck has crawled up and died in you?
Right.
And
and the reason why I had asked you that was because I was talking to somebody this week, and they said, I can't eat a lot of salad because it tears my stomach up. It gives them diarrhea. So when you were saying that, I'm like, oh, well, maybe that's the problem. They don't have enough of that enzyme to help break down the food, and so it just goes right through.
Right, and then they're probably not like rebuilding that enzyme well. Raw vegetables have certain enzymes you need, and you get those enzymes. And then cooked vegetables, all the different aspects of it. So that's why it's really good to have a little bit of everything, because you're keeping your colonies good. I had a professor, bless her heart, I love her, but she had talked to me. She's actually a full-out vegan and vegetarian, but what had happened was she had an eating disorder in college. She was poor, and she literally lived off ramen noodles, no meat. She lost all of the enzymes in her, and some of that was eating disorder, but she had lost all the enzymes to break down protein in that form. She cannot, she's not a vegetarian because she's like, save the bunnies, or, she's a vegetarian because she lost, where's my vegan sister here? Because she's going to be like, wait a minute, there's nothing wrong with saving bunnies. If you feel compelled, save bunnies. Others eat bunnies. But but she lost the enzyme, and she by enzyme base, she is not able to eat meat, and that is why she's a vegetarian. She cannot eat the meat. According, my blood type suggests diet closest to keto. So Lindsay's like, yeah, I read once that fasting is good for you, but I don't think you should fast for 3 months. I agree. Lindsay says, I look healthier and glowing skin, vibrant eyes, etc. when I eat whole foods, keto macros. If I'm doing keto with lots of baked good substitutes, I look like crap. And that goes back to it goes back to not one diet's for everybody, not every diet's for everybody. So the people, like the ones that were talking about, like their sisters looking horrible doing keto, probably because their body is not meant to. You can lose weight, but it doesn't mean you're healthy. You can gain weight. Losing weight and gaining weight are a side effect of being healthy or not healthy.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Okay, you need to wait. That needs to go in my room. and go, or not in my room, go in your room.
Yes. Lindsay said that prebiotics they matter just as much as probiotics. Absolutely. Absolutely. You muted yourself, didn't you? Oh, okay.
So, I did because they're screaming and fighting.
Okay. Well, let's go ahead. Mommy Geek already shared with us her victory. So do any of you other ladies have a victory? Because I have one that I would like to share. You guys, I recommitted last week. I've lost 4.9 pounds this week. I started at 184.6. Is that right? I wrote it down. This morning I was 179.7. I've recorded my Wellness Wednesday video and I'm in the process of editing it, but I haven't put it up yet. But yeah, so that's just bloat and water weight. I know, but I'll take it. I'll take it. So share, guys, what you got going on?
All right. Well, I'll tell you. You just missed me screaming like a wild banshee.
You were doing the mama thing.
I'm doing the mama thing because for some reason I've allowed a lot more technology than we're used to come in, because being in a tiny space is kind of helpful, but it makes my 2-year-old a monster process. I will tell you, I'm sitting at 170 still, but I'm only 2 days in.
Yeah.
So I'm good. I mean, I'm figuring I'm giving myself a full 7 days to just let my body calibrate, taking my enzymes, doing it. But I am so tickled for you because you are now. Were you in the 170s before?
Yes. Before.
Okay.
Before I took my break, which was 3 months ago, at my lowest weight, I was 177.8, I think. And
so you're back 2 pounds within your.
Yes.
Within your lowest weight.
Yeah. So
you got to be just.
Go ahead. I'm 3 pounds away from breaking my lowest record, so I'm really excited.
That's got to be just like the biggest, like just like endorphin rush. Like, yeah,
it is. It's completely motivational because nothing stinks worse than nothing happening. And it's just like, why keep going if I did this for a whole week and nothing happened? But yeah, I'm excited, and I can tell like my belly is not pooching out as much. So, and like I said, I know it's bloat, and I know it's water, but I'll take it. I'm happy. I'm very excited.
Well, I'm going to tell you, since mentally putting on my old Weight Watcher hat back on, my brain is like coming into memory. So some of the things I'm really sad about, and maybe one day I'll do a video. If only I started YouTube many, many years ago, I would have been so much more impressive, because I made everything from scratch. I just, I cooked from scratch. I did so much more. And I feel like these days I'm just like hanging on for dear life each day to get through the days just flying by. I don't do anything. And what I kind of realized as I'm putting my brain back on is all these other diets have really done a number, not just to my body, but to the way I did life. Before everything was like vegetables, and then canning and putting food up, to just leaving that all together and chasing the protein and the fat or whatever. I don't know. I just feel like I'm not like I wasn't my old self. And as I'm putting my hat back on, I'm like, I'm going back to my old self. I've missed my old self. Y'all haven't seen my old self yet, but I really miss my old self. And coming back to that has really been mentally grounding, emotionally grounding for me, knowing I'm going back to that. But with that said, when after I had Orville, before I had Orville, after I had Addie, I had like this one, I was just like, enough. In 30 days, I went from 172 to 150. Is that right? 22 pounds. No, it was 27 pounds. I got down to 140 something. Wow. I lost 27 pounds in 30 days.
That's crazy.
2.5 months later, I was pregnant. So, I didn't have to keep it up. I didn't have to keep it off. I was pregnant in 2.5 months. But I'm just like, you know what? And I know how to do that. Like my brain's like remembering, I know how to do that. It is a lot of vegetables. It is like crazy amounts of vegetables, vegetable loading with light, light, low fat protein and having the protein. I'm like, I can do that again. So I don't know if I'm going to do it that extreme, but I wouldn't mind it. What are you reading?
Right. I was just I'm reading the comments. They're talking to each other, but Tina said she's not on a real diet, but she does watch, but she has arthritis, fibromyalgia, chronic pain, chronic illness, migraine headaches, and has to take a lot of medication. Creating essences. I always get pregnant when I lose weight. Seems to be a pattern.
My husband was just like, I cannot believe. So we're watching those videos from 10 years ago, and he's like, I cannot believe how much you have changed. Creating essence. So wait for the announcement in the next few months or two as I make progress. Ha ha ha.
Yep.
I feel you. Since I've been pregnant, I don't want to do anything. That's how I get. I'm like, I don't want to do nothing. I feel like my biggest thing, I don't know for any of y'all that have gone through postpartum anxiety, I think my biggest issue that I run into that really probably made it worse was I started feeling like I was Mighty Woman as I had more children and I didn't need vitamins. And as I did that, I stopped taking vitamins. And what I really come down to is as I look at how bad my postpartum got each pregnancy and I look at my lack of vitamins, it was literally like as the time went on without prenatals, my anxiety went up higher. And I kind of come into, I feel like my postpartum, in my experience, in my humbleness, and for me, I really feel like it got worse. It became actually a micronutrient deficiency is what brought it on more. Now, I'm naturally anxious. So, I mean, there's that aspect too. But I feel like my lack of micronutrients really brought it home. And as I've been doing some stuff, I'm watching some videos because my chiropractor's like, hey, I'm reading this book. You should read this book. And I'm like, when I read it, will I actually understand what I'm reading? Because it's, a medical book. And he's like, no, I have faith. You will. You'll figure it out. But it actually has a lot to do with when you are not eating in sync. So one of the like tiny little aspects to what he's talking about and what my chiropractor told me is that when you're not eating in sync, you can actually encourage and blossom the fight or flight syndrome, which makes sense, because what's the reality is your body's not getting what it needs and it's making do with something else. And so you're losing what you should be having in your body and kind of going.
Well, if you just think about that too, like even just the short term, like we use the word hangry now. That's just like going a few hours without eating. That's not even it building up over time. It's like everything's plummeting, and
don't you feel like too
crazy
as we're this is what I don't understand, because it's either as we're getting older or is it as a nation in general, hangry is very common. I don't feel like it was that common 5-10 years ago. What do you think?
Well, I agree. And it's because the foods that we're eating aren't real food. They're dead food. It's not a food. There's no nutrients unless it's fortified, but that means that there's synthetic vitamins that have been shoved into this food. So yeah, I completely agree. I think it's a Midwestern thing because we're not eating nutrient dense foods like our grandparents did when they were growing up.
And that gets back down to like the vitamin, that gets back into the like our soils being stripped from massive agriculture, which kind of brings down the whole phenomenon of these like micro permaculture gardens, like watching Justin Rhodes. Wait, have we not had this conversation before?
Maybe once or twice. Well, but it's so important though. It is so important. And I mean, you can't talk about health. You can't talk about weight loss. You can't talk about any of those things without addressing the issues in our food culture. You just can't do it.
Okay, so what I noticed.
There you are.
There I am.
I hear you, but I can't see
you. Because I'm having to flip us as we go. So I'm flipping us and controlling who's being shown.
Okay, if you want to go back to toggling,
yeah, how do
you just like click on the screen. Don't click on my picture or your picture. Just click on.
Well, let's see if that works. It's not working. I clicked on the screen. It's not toggling.
Oh well.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. Sometimes it takes a little bit, but
I'm trying.
Sorry.
But it's not working. We'll just all look at Tangi while I speak. Maybe she'll just mouth like my puppet. We'll do ventriloquism. So if that doesn't freak y'all out, but it does, it kind of goes back into that need of watching, and for me, I'm trying to do, I'm probably making y'all nuts. Sorry. For me, it's like making sure I'm getting my nutrient base is probably the most important thing. The most important thing. And it gets back into vitamins. I mean, we're doing vitamins, so it's like, Mama Butterfly, just kind of, calling it out. After living in Haiti, it's okay to be hungry. I think there's a lot of truth to that, because as a first world country, we don't let our bodies go hungry. We don't, we're not, it's almost like you don't know. We immediately are always compensating our body whenever it calls for hunger. We got crazy places that just sell drinks through a drive-through because we can't even go thirsty. And it's all sugar oriented, calorie oriented. Oh, you put me on a soapbox, because it's true. And it was funny because we were watching that Disney movie, the chess player, something queen, the Uganda queen, or I don't know what it was. Oh, she had to go. She's going to get more coffee. You believe that? Anyways, I'm going to wait for her because I want her to listen to this. I've seen since I started going organic that my body feels better. Probably because you're getting more nutrients. I'm thinking. That's my thoughts. Mama Geek says, I completely agree with you, Tangi. I honestly feel that with all the processed food, our bodies are used to more sugar than it really should be getting, so we're seeing more people affected by low sugar. All right, she's back. I can go there. Let's wait for her to put her earplugs in. We're just waiting on Tangi. She's getting there. Let's watch her. We'll watch her. See, she's slowly putting them in her ears. We're waiting on you.
Sorry.
I didn't want to go on this without you. Okay. So number one, before I even go to the Disney Queen movie reference I want to talk about, Mama Geek says, I completely agree with you, Tangi. I honestly feel that with all the processed food, our bodies are used to more sugar than it really should be getting. So we're seeing more people affected by low sugar. That first off sent me on a little thought on, is that not true? They sit there and tell us that sugar is just as addicting as cocaine. It hits the same parts of our brain. What is the advertisement for hangry? That is a Snickers bar. What is a Snickers bar full of? Sugar. What it has become is this hangry term is really this involuntary addiction that we have now allowed ourselves to be with sugar. And yet the advertisements and the way to cure our hangriness, which is our sugar addiction withdrawals, is to have a Snickers bar. Why not? Why not? Maybe Snickers will be like, Mars bars will be like, can we sponsor you so you can shut your mouth up? But seriously, and now we're being marketed, take care of being hangry. Maybe we're not really hungry, but we're having a sugar addiction withdrawal. We're having sugar withdrawal.
Oh, snap. She done said that. Y'all heard it here.
So the big part.
They're like glorified drug pushers.
Yeah, I agree. Well, and that goes into, so we're watching the Disney one, what is that movie called, kids? Was it the Queen of Uganda? She was a chess player. She started playing chess. So she started playing chess through a missionary. So here's the thing. They were constantly, no food to eat. They were trying to, they had nothing to eat. They ate like a soup all the time. And that's it. And they were always hungry. And so the kids that went to the mission place to play chess, they would feed them porridge. So that night, you know, they had a cup of porridge. They had a cup like this of porridge. They ate their porridge. That night, mom makes soup, and they're like, we're not hungry, so mom could have more. They're not hungry because they had a cup of porridge. Because they're used to hunger. They're used to letting their body be a little hungry. There was something I was reading. No, there was something I was watching, maybe. No, there was something I was reading, and it was like 100 years ago. It might have been from my Lamplighter books. I'm not sure, but it actually had to do with the fact that, you know, you should stop eating. You should stop eating so your body is still hungry, because it's a slippery slope. When you indulge to your every want, your body will create room to give you more room for more, which begins the process that we're always hungry and we want more and we're never satisfied. And I cannot remember where I'd read it back, but it was the aspect of like, you should stop eating before you're completely content, because it's almost this way of replacing that hunger for God, because you've figured out how to fill it with food. You know, just that natural burn in your tummy is normal. But by first world Western society, no, it's not. You must satisfy that, and we'll sell you something to satisfy that. Okay, I'm not telling you that I've figured this out and I don't do this anymore. Dang sure, I'm in the trenches of let me satisfy my body and myself and do it with food. I do it all the time. I do it with my coffee all the time. I mean, I'm coming from like, here it is for real. What you got?
My Grace said, Trish and Tangi, can you please say hi to my daughter Abby? She's recently subscribed to both of us. Hi Abby, what's up,
girl? Hello. Wheatree says pure cane sugar, not the beet sugar. Yeah, I don't really get the whole beet sugar. We cut out most sugar in our house, and I watched my daughter have a complete meltdown wanting candy yesterday. Heck yeah, it's an addiction.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the 70s, I got to leave class to go eat peanut butter and celery in the nurse's office. Hangry used to be hypoglycemia. I went off all processed sugars for a year. Now any sugar throws me into a sugar coma. Made to Crave by Lisa Turkis. Awesome book about our relationship with food, meeting our needs when what we need is God in a healing place. Somebody had told me about that book.
Yeah, I actually got to see her. I met her, Lisa Turkis. She came to our town. She actually was doing her Made to Crave tour, and I went with a friend, and it was really interesting. No, it wasn't the Made to Crave. It was the Unglued. Unglued came out.
Oh, Unglued.
But she did talk a little bit about Made to Crave though, so it was pretty neat.
Mine is, and I will say, when you get off sugar, you literally don't crave it. So I will say that experiment doing keto and going off sugar, I didn't crave it. I wasn't like junk food next. It wasn't until I started having it again, like that it just became like crashing. My system just crashed. Ohio grows beets. Sugar shouldn't come from here. Yeah. So I am going to focus on what has worked for me for the last 14 years. And that has been the original Weight Watchers. It can get boring at times, and I need to make sure I change it up. But I know my body responds to it. I know I can feel like $1 million. I can feel like $1 million. That's big. I want to feel like $1 million again.
Yeah.
And I know it's not glamorous, and I know that there's easy outs. I mean, I can have a little process this in a box. Is it perfect? No. But at the same time, it's forgiving. For me and my A negative blood type and the enzymes that no longer but will again exist in a great populous metropolis down there in my gut. Right. It's what I know will work. It's no funky games, nothing. What were you gonna say?
And the cool thing though is that if you were to eat your points in processed foods, you will not eat very much. because those processed foods cost a lot of points.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to feel satisfied, you load up on the 0 points. What are the 0 points? Your greens,
Vegetables.
your fruit. Yeah, it's veggies. So it's kind of awesome.
Well, for doing the old school one, I have to count bananas and apples. I have to count my fruit. And that was a little bit like adjusting hard for me at first, because I was just like, man, I don't want to count that. But the reality is I did it successfully for many years, and it's not going to be a game changer. And so I'm counting my fruit, and it's okay. It's fine. It's fine. Because there's free stuff I can eat too. I can eat the lettuce and the celery and all of that. It's just my higher sugar fruit I can't.
Mm-hmm.
But, bananas and apples are high sugar. And I've learned that by doing ketosis. So it does work. All right, I'm going to start. I grabbed my notebook. I am taking prayer requests because we're going to have to jump off here soon.
Okay.
So y'all start bringing it in. Farmer Mimo made it in. You'll have to go back and watch.
Yay.
We talked about you. We were talking about you. But, Farmer Mimo, what blood type are you? Let's just put that on public record. What's your blood type? Because I want to know if you're O positive or O negative. You're blood type O. Because I think you are. With as good as she's responding to keto and is satisfied, and she was able to reduce her intake so quickly in quantity, that I think that's a major indicator of it. What are you thinking? What?
Misty, she said, the last time I had weight loss success, I lost 75 pounds and put on my scrubs to go to work and walked in front of my stepdad, and my pants fell down.
Oh,
that's awesome.
There she is.
Is O.
Yeah. Everybody who does so well on a carb low diet is a type O. Very few people I've met that have done it and have done it well. All right, Mommy Geek. Said, my father-in-law is going through the radiation treatments for the cancer on the vocal cords. He has 8 treatments left, and praying that he takes care of it. Okay.
Misty said, pray that I can get the homeschool curriculum cheap.
Right. Who's that, Lindsay? Wait, who? No.
Misty.
How? I don't see that on mine. Oh, there it is. I see it now. Yeah, do that for me. Type in capital letters, prayer, colon, or praise, colon. That is a huge helper. Thank you guys for who just started that.
Yeah. Let's see. Okay, so Creating Essence says, has a praise. Y'all prayed for my niece Alex in the PICU, having the seizures last month. Is home and doing better. That's wonderful. Victories said prayers for Tangi and Trish to keep this going.
Thanks. We could use it.
Yes, absolutely. Candy said, good morning, late. Just found out this morning a friend lost a battle to cancer. Please pray for her daughter who is in high school and elementary age son. Daughter was with her when she died. Oh my goodness. And before I forget, you guys, I don't know what's going to happen next month as far as me being here, because I have jury duty all month long, and I know that my first day to report is on a Wednesday. Wah, wah, wah. So,
and then
just to let you know,
the end of July, I am going to be off all social media for a week. My husband's like, this might be the best thing for you. I'm like, me. All right. I'm back at Candy. All right, so friend losing battle.
I have a prayer request. I've mentioned prayer before for Drake that goes to my church. He is awaiting a pancreas transplant. They are trying to get a blood clot cleared. He's 13 or 14 years old, you guys. And for the last couple of years, he has had just excruciating chronic pain. And
so it's a blood clot or leukemia? Tell me that again.
No, he's awaiting a pancreas transplant. They don't really know. He had chronic pancreatitis, and it's pretty much killed his pancreas. But he's developed a blood clot, and they can't do the transplant until the blood clot clears. But he kind of broke down a couple of weeks ago, basically told his grandma that, you know, he doesn't know if he's going to make it or not. And he kind of was giving her his bucket list. Like, he's like, will you please take me to Washington, D.C.? He wants to see D.C. before the transplant, but we're praying that the Lord intervenes. And so if you all will remember him. And also there is a lady that I met. She is actually one of my subscribers. And I met her in my town. It was kind of crazy, but she's moved back to her home state, and not too long after they moved, they found out that her son, who I think is 10 or 11, has a brain tumor, and he is currently going through radiation. So
all right, Misty says you started making videos again, still no subscribers. So y'all head over there and subscribe. Actually, right now, if you are running a YouTube channel, and please share that with us and just say subscribe to me. And so then everybody can go and right click on those dots and subscribe to each other. There you go. So go over there, head over there and subscribe. Oh, don't forget, if you've caught on here and you want to make sure you get, you know, when I go live, you can hit the little bell on there too. Okay. Tell me that, Tangi, tell me about your friend, your subscriber again.
Her son who's like 10 or 11, has a brain tumor, and he's currently going through radiation.
Okay, so I don't, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to read you some more. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, so my Grace says prayers for my baby nephew, who continues to grow healthy and strong. He is 1 week old already and was born premature.
Okay.
I love it.
Keep going.
Let's see. All right, so Green Gables, subscribe. Mommy Geek, subscribe. And she is starting a channel, Planner Geek TV. Holy cow. I know. I know.
You know, I have so many things. Like, I'm like, I could totally go on this route and this route. I'm going to be honest. I finally come to terms. I'm here on YouTube to be socially cool, maybe, to be that way. And I'm looking at the aspects of, like, you could do YouTube as a business, and I'm like, I don't know if that's just my season. My season's just to be here. If that makes sense. Does that make sense? I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah. I want to endorse, I haven't ordered one yet, but 6 Times Blessed is making peas in the pod jewelry. And you guys, they are stinking adorable. I do plan on ordering some. I would like to order some for my mom, because my mom has 14 grandchildren, and I know she would love to have peas in the pod on her. I don't know how you would do 14 though, but anyway.
Gonna be some big pod shells.
Definitely check out 6 Times Blessed on Instagram, because she posts photos of it, and seriously, guys, so cute and very reasonably priced, but it's beautiful handcrafted jewelry, and I love it. Okay. Let's see. Mommy Geek said she's going to film her first Planner Geek video today. I'm grainy for some reason. I don't know what's happening.
I don't know what happened. Please, no, don't do that in here, son. Okay, so I have to share a prayer request. I know, but please, nobody wants to hear that thing on the floor.
Did you get Mary Waynick?
Yes, I got Mary and her friend Robin. Yeah, I already got her.
Okay, yes. Okay.
Okay, so this is not public knowledge, but poor, bless her heart, it's going to be now. So let's hope I don't break down. So my mom went in for her, you know, she just did her diabetic 1, and she did her thing, and, you know, she's so much better and she's so much healthier, and the doctor was like, if everybody kept her that healthy, awesome. She went and did her oncology checkup, because it's 2 years ago that she was diagnosed with breast cancer. On the 2-year mark, they found another lump. So we don't know what it is. It could be benign. So we're praying that it's benign. But she's really having a kind of like recovering from the journey it took to go through the treatments. And she's just kind of like, okay, that was a lot of work. I can't do it the way I did it last time. I have to do, you know what I mean? She's just like, I have to figure out how to lighten my load in order to do that. And so just hoping that it's not that, hoping it's benign, hoping it's just, but it's got her, you know, kind of like on one hand, she's just trying to catch her breath on the aspect of, okay, am I ready to do that fight again? You know what I mean? Like mentally preparing, like, okay, I'm doing the fight again. But, you know, we might not be. It might just be benign. It might not be a big deal. It might take care of itself. The other one is the aspect that it hit her, that I think the hard part that's really hitting her is the fact that to have a reoccurrence within 2 years, your life expectancy just shortens by about 10 years. And those things really just, the other part, it's hitting me. So the aspect of like, okay, Mom, we're going to fight this again. We got this. Is on a selfish side of the note is I lost my dad before he even turned 50. I lost my dad to non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. My mom has had breast cancer. Okay. The average, the status like 20 years ago was 1 in 50 would get cancer. Today, it's every other woman would get cancer. So Tangi and I sitting here, it's one of us will have cancer. Half of us in this room are going to have cancer. And I'm now going, my father died from his cancer. My mom has had cancer. My grandmother had cancer. It's not if, ladies, it's when. And that brought a whole coming home to me. My mom will be 60 this fall. So both my parents, my dad began fighting cancer in his 30s. My mom began fighting cancer in her 50s. I'm fixing to turn 40. Ladies, tell me I'm not having a wake-up call. That as I talk about like dealing with my weight is important, but it actually has more to do with the fact that am I treating my enzymes, my gut health? Am I taking care of my pancreas? Are my organs good? Because when the fight shows up, will I be prepared to fight it? And that's kind of changing my motivation. I told you I got really kind of caught up in my looks about losing weight, and I had like a whole humility thing, and I said, whatever, I don't care. And I've allowed the weight to come back on. As I'm going from there, I'm realizing this is not about my weight. This is about, will I have the fight I need to have in order to keep myself together, to be able to do the jobs I need to perform for my family, that I'm here for my family. Because let me tell you, my quality of life without my dad is so low. My husband and I talk about that all the time. If my dad was here, our quality of life would be better because he was that substantial in my life and my kids' life. My mom is substantial in my life, in my kids' life. I'm substantial. You know, you're substantial in your kids' life. It's a 1 in 2 chance we're going to get it. Are we preparing our bodies for the fight? Are we preparing to have our bodies strong enough so when either we can prevent it because we take care of ourselves, because our American diet, we're so poor health. You know, I was watching one on insurance. The majority of insurance claims comes from a lack of health, from the abuse to our bodies, from the crud we eat, the drugs we take, the drinking, the smoking, the whole 9 yards, more than it has to do with just phenomenal stuff. It's the lack of taking care of ourselves.
Well, and two, I think it goes back to the sugar addiction in our country. I've been reading and hearing a lot reports that cancer, sugar. And I think that's one of the reasons why we have seen such a huge jump in the number of diagnoses is because, I mean, look at our diet. How many
well, and how many places do we have sugar coming from that we used to not? Before, exactly. The only place sugar came from was sugar cane. Now it's high fructose corn syrup. Now it's beet sugar. It's in everything. Yeah. They even put it in cigarettes and beer. You know, people from other countries don't like to drink the beer here because it has sugar in it. you know. So Steph says the Gerson diet. Actually, that's what I'm looking up on, is the Gerson diet. In the book that I was told to read is the Gerson. Who was it? Misty just talked about, she lost her grandfather, her father, her husband. Oh, not her husband. She lost her grandfather, but her husband, her dad, and 5 uncles all have cancer, all less than 10 years, all gone. No, that's Misty, because she did lose her husband. I'm always watching out for me and my daughters now. That's why I need to get my health back. Right. That's why we need to get our health back. I mean, in some cases, we can beat cancer before it starts just by the fact of taking care of our bodies, you know. Since Misty says, Trish, have you had yourself tested? They can test your blood to see if you have the gene. I'll have to look that up. Farmer Meemaw says, yes. Green Gable says, I hate cancer. Watching my dad fight cancer and lose the battle is what made me give up sugar 2.5 years ago. Sugar's in everything. They use sugar to find active cancer during a PET scan. McDonald's puts sugars in their fries. That's why so many people prefer McDonald's fries over fast food. Oh, I didn't know that. So there's my soapbox. There's my prayer request. Please keep her in your prayers so much. Keep me in my prayers that everything works out to close on my house, that I can be sold and, you know, ready to figure out what we're going to do for there kind of deal. All right, so any last requests before I call it a day? Anywhere. Going once. You got any more you can think of, Tangi? No? Okay.
We never run out of things to pray for.
My house is fixing to go crazy. You can probably see some fighting in the background, but we're going to take it to the Lord.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for the time you bring us together. Thank you for the encouragement. Thank you for the fact that you can bring a breath of fresh air to our spirits, to our determination, and to our path. Dear Lord, we've gone through a season of starting up in this little community, in this group, of just being hot and heavy and excited to kind of being like, we're here, we're present, and we're not always excited to be taking care of what you've given us to take care of, dear Lord. Lord, thank you for another season of coming in and reigniting the flame to do what we need to do to take care of ourselves. Dear Heavenly Father, be with Mommy Geek as her father-in-law is going through the radiation treatments for his cancer. Dear Lord, be with Misty as she goes shopping today in her homeschool curriculum. Be with all those that are going through and taking that responsibility in educating themselves, and even the financial responsibility in providing the resources that they need. Dear Lord, be with Creating Essence and the praise that our niece is having progress on not having the seizures. Dear Lord, thank you for that abundance. Dear Lord, be with Candy's friend, his family after losing the cancer battle. We don't understand why sometimes we get the outcomes we get, Lord, but we trust that your will is good. Dear Lord, be with Drake and deal with the blood clot, Lord, and just let him have that pancreas transplant so that he can continue. Fill him with the hope that he needs to be, but also let him be in your will and be in praise in that will. Dear Lord, be with Mama Butterfly's husband. Lord, we pray for permission to come in. Dear Lord, be with the 10-year-old boy that's dealing with a brain tumor as he goes through his radiation. Just bring him through this. Dear Lord, be with my Grace's nephew, the preemie that he is. You know, he's made it the 1 week. Just let him keep growing stronger and fighting harder. Dear Lord, be with Robin as she is dealing with her stage 4 cancer and hospice in that aspect in this transition, Lord. Let the fight that needs to keep fighting happen, Lord, and let the peace that needs to come. Lord, be with my mom. Lord, bring healing. Let that thing that they find be nothing. Lord, revive the hope. Lord, give her the strength she needs for the fight that's coming. Lord, and just bring her through this in your glory. Dear Lord, be with us as we're dealing with just moving forward in our home. Lord, let us be content in the time that we need to be content. Let us be graced with patience without the work of being patient. Lord, I'm not asking for patience because when I do, I know that you give me the time to get it. Lord, I don't want that. I want to move forward, dear Lord, and let that happen. Lord, thank you for letting us come together to be with each other in fellowship. Thank you for the renew it gives us in our hearts. Thank you for the reality that sometimes we are handed, even when I say words that I know it's inspired by you, sometimes it's a little bit of truth smack and I'm getting on my own. Dear Lord, thank you for the blessings that you've given us. Amen. All right. I'm reading. Let's see. I just turned 40 and I've decided to change my eating habits. I'm going to feed my family more greens. It's never too late. It is never too late. It is never too late. Stephanie says, I have 2 Gerson books, also a great documentary on Amazon. If you look up the Truth About Cancer series, great info. Okay. And that's what I'm kind of watching right now. I was watching it on Facebook, but if the whole documentary is on Amazon, I'll have to pull that up.
What'd you get out?
You guys, thank you so much. Sorry that my house is a little crazy today, but sometimes that's the way it goes because it's real life here.
Yep.
So we will see you all later. Later.
Right. Bye,
hopefully
guys.
next week. I think we're good next week. We'll see y'all next week.
That is the plan.
All right. Bye, y'all.